In this video, I'm going to show you why eating healthy is preventing you from losing weight. What's up guys, Carlo Macapinlac here from newbiefitnessacademy.com. I help busy professionals look at shirtless so they can feel more confident and get the most out of their lives. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every time I post a new video every week. And make sure you follow me on Instagram where I post daily awesome fitness content just like this. Okay, here's all you need to know. 80% of your body composition is determined by what you eat. You can't outwork a bad diet. It's true, abs are made in the kitchen. But here's the problem. Healthy eating has kind of become this highly subjective thing for a lot of people. So people always come up to me, right? Carlo, I work out all the time, I exercise 7 days a week, and I'm eating healthy, but I'm just not losing weight. And if you watched last week's video, right, I talked about how working out is actually preventing you from losing weight. And if you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out. But then I asked them, okay, you're eating healthy. What do you eat? And then they'll tell me, they eat this, and then they eat that. And then I'm like, are you kidding me? How is that considered healthy? So I've actually compiled the top 5 healthy foods that are preventing you from losing weight. Number 1 is low calorie and reduced fat versions of foods. I can't believe I still have to talk about this. It's 2019 and people still have a fat phobia. We're still scared of fat and cholesterol, right? We still order, skinny vanilla lattes. We still get fat-free yogurt and skim milk, which is honestly just water pretending to be milk. We buy low-fat cheese, which tastes like cardboard. And basically, there's still a lot of low-fat and reduced calorie versions of foods. And if you've never bothered looking in the back of that label, here's how food manufacturers make food reduce fat or low calorie, right? So they take out the fat, which means that they have to replace it with something else. Otherwise, it's not going to taste good. So because fat is what makes food taste good, right? Think about steak. You know what I mean? Fat is the best part. So every time you take out the fat, they have to replace that with something else. And that something else is sugar. Fat-free food and low-calorie foods are laced with sugar. And it might not say actual sugar in the back, right? Did you know that there are 56 different names of sugar? It's called maltodextrin or sucrose or dextrose or fructose. Like I said, 56 different names that you and I can't even pronounce. And the other thing about low-calorie foods are, honestly, calories are completely made up. Your body doesn't count calories. You have no calorie counter in your stomach. What you do have though is a physiological response every time you put something in your mouth. So it doesn't matter if it's fat-free or low calories, your body will still respond to it in one way, shape, or form. Which is actually a perfect segue for healthy food. Number 2 is diet sodas and artificial sweeteners in general. But we're gonna focus on diet soda in this particular video. Here's the thing with diet sodas. They're highly addicting, right? Raise your hand. I used to be addicted to Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi or whatever, diet version of whatever pop you like. Again, your body doesn't count calories, so it doesn't matter that it's 0 calories. Honestly, it's just as bad, if not worse, than drinking regular pop. And I'm not even advocating that you drink regular pop. You should just not be drinking that stuff, period. All you need to know about 0 calorie sodas is that every time you drink it, right? It doesn't matter that it's 0 calories, like I said, but it does trigger an insulin response in your body, which means that your body thinks that you're actually ingesting real sugar. So what your body does is every time your insulin goes up, your body goes into fat storage mode. And if you're in fat storage mode, you cannot access your body fat for energy. You just can't, okay? Because it's either you're burning fat or you're storing fat. And if you're somebody who drinks Diet Coke, or pop in general 3 times a day, guess what? You're gonna be in fat storage mode all day long. This is why you can't lose weight, even though you're drinking Diet Coke. You think it's 0 calories and it gets a free pass. Guess what? It doesn't. Diet sodas as well actually does something really bad to your body. It destroys your gut microbiome and it leads to obesity and diabetes and all sorts of disease. And here's, honestly, just think about it this way, okay? Do you know anybody who has attributed drinking diet soda to losing weight? No, usually the people that need to lose the most weight are the ones that drinks diet soda because they think that it's better for you. It's just not. It's honestly the biggest lie, one of the biggest lies in the history of nutrition. And think about it this way, right? Nothing that tastes that sweet gets a free pass in your system. It just doesn't. Your body will still think that you're ingesting regular sugar when you drink diet sodas. Long story short, it is not a healthy alternative. Okay, your only 2 other options here are soda water, which is just fizzy water, or just regular plain old water. Number 3, and I'm gonna get a lot of flack for saying this, but hey, I'm all about speaking the truth here, is fruit. That's right, fruit. See, fruit for some reason gets a health halo from a lot of people, right? It gets a free pass because it's, some people think that like, oh, it contains natural sugar, as if there's anything natural about sugar. And the thing with that is like, if you think about, back in the Paleolithic days, right? Our ancestors would encounter seasonal fruits, right? So it's not available all year round. But in today's society, you can get any sort of fruit all year round. You go to your grocery store and you can get berries all year round. You can get avocados and banana and apple and what have you. All year round, it's available. But the number one problem with fruit, especially if you eat it in excessive amounts, right, is that fruit contains a type of sugar called fructose. And if you consume fructose in large amounts, that causes a lot of problems in your body, okay? So again, I talked to somebody, right? And they're like, Carlo, I eat healthy, I snack on apples, I snack on fruits all day long. I'm like, well, that's why you're not losing weight. You eat too much fruit. So again, fruit contains fructose, and fructose can only be processed by your liver. So your liver turns it into usable energy called glucose, right? So glucose gets stored as glycogen. Your body can't process fructose on its own. So the problem is if you eat a diet that's high in carbs, right? So the average American honestly eats anywhere between 300 to 500 grams of carbs, which is just mind-blowing if you ask me. So if you eat a diet that's high in carbs, those carbs, once it enters your system, gets converted into glucose, and then that's what gets used as energy. The problem is your body can only store up to 2,000 calories worth of glucose. Anything on top of those 2,000 calories gets stored as, guess what? Body fat. No, your body just doesn't burn it off. So the problem with fructose, right, is that your liver is the only thing that can process it. You create this system where your liver gets overwhelmed. So your liver has to convert all this extra glucose into glycogen, and then it has to also deal with the fructose. It just gets overwhelmed. That's how people get fatty liver disease, and it leads to diabetes, obesity, and all sorts of other horrible diseases out there. And the other problem with fruit, again, going back to the Paleolithic times, is the fruit that we eat today is drastically different from the actual original form of fruits back then, right? So I'm gonna show you a couple pictures here. Look at this banana. It looks vastly different from what we eat today. Same thing with watermelons. Oranges are genetically mutated to be sweeter. Same with apples, right? They have like all sorts of different types of oranges these days, and it's like so much sweeter than how it actually was originally. And this whole thing about like, oh, you need 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, that number is completely arbitrary. Like that number is not based on any science at all. And while we're in the topic of fruits, right? So if you're somebody who likes to drink juice, I still see some people, right? They drink orange juice, or you can buy like orange juice containers. You can buy like these little orange juice bottles from like, these fancy juice places, and it'll say, oh, it contains 5 or 7 oranges. And people just drink this stuff thinking that it's good for them. You know what I mean? But who the hell eats 5 to 7 oranges in one sitting? Like juice is just as bad as drinking a can of Coke. You know what I mean? Like you're better off just eating the fruit itself, or you're just better off ditching fruit in general. If your goal is fat loss, you guys, if your goal is fat loss, you should not be eating a lot of fruit. You should be eating minimal amounts of fruit, and you should just stick to berries, for example. Number 4 are meal replacement shakes. So we're talking like Isogenics or Slim Fast, or any of these big companies that are selling meal replacement shakes, or even protein shakes in general. Yes, I get it. It's convenient, right? So you just grab this powder, you mix it with water, you shake it, and then it's like meal in a shake kind of thing. Yes, it's convenient, but there is absolutely nothing healthy about meal replacement shakes. I mean, think about it. If you look at the back of it, right, it contains high fructose corn syrup. Again, one of those 56 names of sugar that I mentioned earlier. It contains vegetable oils, which is highly inflammatory. And the problem is it's not satiating at all, right? Like you drink this stuff and then an hour later, you're hungry again. And they're often laced with preservatives and chemicals and ingredients that you and I can't even pronounce. Pro tip for you, like don't drink your calories. Stick to real foods here, you guys. Number 5, and this is probably the biggest one of them all, is that people consider grains to be healthy, like healthy whole grains. And I'm putting air quotes on healthy here when it comes to whole grains, you guys. And honestly, I've read a book out there, and this super famous scientist says that modern agriculture is humans' greatest mistake. And I'm going to explain why. I'll do my best. But before I do that, we need to go a little bit into some ancestral history here, right? We need to look at some facts. So we have been around for 2.5 million years. I mean, that's a long time. Think about it. Like it's 2019 and we've been around for 2.5 million years. Okay? So put that into context. We've been around for 2.5 million years. Modern agriculture started 12,000 years ago, okay? If you do a little math, I'll do it for you. That is 0.8%, 0.8% of human history. Yet for some reason, our entire diet evolves around eating healthy whole grains. Think about that for a second. Through brilliant marketing by food companies, we are now led to believe that we need to be eating grains all the time. So we're talking about breakfast cereal, bread, whole wheat bread, white rice, brown rice, pasta, chips, bagels, you name it. We've based our diet now around something that's only been around for 12,000 years, yet we've been around for 2.5 million years, okay? So what did we eat for the last 2.5 million years? Well, we evolved to eat plants and animals. Our genes, our bodies evolved to process plants and animals. We did not evolve to eat grains. There are essential fats and protein like omega-3 and omega-6 that you can only obtain from your diet, mainly fish, and there are essential amino acids that you can get from animal products. But there are no essential carbs. Carb consumption is not required for human survival. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that, but that's the truth. And the thing with grains is they contain something called anti-nutrients, if you've never heard of it before, right? Namely, the big ones are lectin, phytic acid, and everyone should know about gluten these days. So anti-nutrients reduces the consumption of vitamins and minerals from a meal. Important minerals like iron, zinc, calcium, and magnesium. You know, if you're suffering from heartburn or GERD, IBS, IBD, if you have any sort of digestive problems, that is most likely caused by eating too much grains. And even healthy whole grains, right? Whole wheat versions of food are suspect here. All you want to think about when it comes to grains is once it enters your system, that still gets converted to sugar. And I don't want to go down too deep in the rabbit hole here when it comes to talking about grains, and I'm going to make a separate video all about it. But all you need to know, you guys, is again, there are no essential carbs. You can get all the nutrients that your body needs to obtain optimal health from plants and animals. And you know what? I get it. I don't want to come off as somebody who doesn't enjoy himself here. I eat treats, you guys, every once in a while. But I believe in the 90-10 rule. So 90% of the time, I try to avoid sugar, processed carbs, refined carbs. And again, I build my diet around just plants and animals, nutrient-dense foods. And the other 10% is when I incorporate these 5 healthy foods that I just mentioned earlier. Because again, you know, you have to live a little, you know what I mean? But at the same time, these 5 foods that I mentioned are not healthy at all. So if you're somebody who eats these foods, you need to adjust your diet accordingly. Okay, the next question then becomes, how are you actually supposed to eat if you want to lose weight? Because let's be honest, 80% of your body composition goals is determined by your diet. You can't just freestyle this part. Do you have a proven plan that you can follow? To help you with that, I want to give you a free copy of my Lean Body Blueprint. This is how I melted all the fat around my stomach and turned it into a 6-pack without going in a crazy diet or wasting hours at the gym. It's a simple 4-step process specifically designed for busy professionals, and it's the exact same blueprint that I teach all my private coaching clients, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. If you want to be the next success story, then download your free copy of the Lean Body Blueprint right now. There's going to be a link in the description box. Just click on it, type in your email, and I'll send it to you right away. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every Friday. And hey, leave me a comment below if you found this video helpful or if you have any questions about this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the comment section. Virtual high five.